Well, he was good most of the first couple days of camp, but he for whatever reason he struggled a little bit in the scrimmage. But he's, I do think, I don't know if we have a person that watches more film than he does, and he wants to be really good. And when we signed Evan, one of the things that I was most excited about was I know him, so I know what he's about. I know his makeup. I know, that all the good things that he can do on a basketball court, and I think that you add that to a little chip on somebody's shoulder, and maybe usually can add up to pretty good things with his work ethic. He works hard.
All right, this is the Evan Turner part of the conversation. He really had as good of a breakout first game as you could have hoped for. He had 15 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 5 for 11. I think the bigger surprise is that he didn't have a terrible shooting night. That's kind of the thing that everybody was anticipating with him. It's a lot of bad shots, but his shot selection was generally really good. His rhythm was good. He played 31 minutes, more than anybody in the entire game. And he played several different roles. He played the point a little, he played the 2, played the 3. I mean, it was just a really versatile game, Julian, from Evan Turner.
Yeah, Evan Turner was by far, the star for the Celtics tonight. Yep. Just to see, he started the game at small forward. He started the second half at point guard. How many guys can you say can do that? And like you said, he played some 2, so he played all the positions. He played the most minutes, 5 for 11. He shot the best on the Celtics. He flirted with a triple-double, finished with 15, 10, and 6. So, he had a really great game and surprised me in a lot of ways. We saw at Ohio State his final year how he could play the point guard position, and he won National Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. But that's not something that we've seen him do, consistently in the NBA. Not that consistently is one night, first night of the preseason, but he seemed to have good control of that position for one night. Let's see if, it lasts.
Yeah, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. I mean, we're talking about going into this game, who's going to be starting at point guard? It was smart, but it could have been Turner. Instead, he starts at small forward. I mean, the guy can literally play 3 positions. He's such an interchangeable guy. It's a great thing for Stevens to have on his team. A young coach who's trying to find what lineups work the best ways, and to have that guy be able to play 3 positions. I know going into a couple weeks ago, I was saying that Turner, when it's all said and done, could maybe even give Jeff Green a run for his money at small forward. So people are saying that he can give, he can start at point guard with Rondo, and that just goes to show the type of player he can do a lot of different things. His stat line is, I think, a typical stat line for him. He can dish out, 6 to 10
we just want
passes.
To see him do it.
Yeah, exactly. You want to see it more. I think he's going to get the chance to do it more on this team, especially with Rondo out right now.
Well, I mean, don't forget, he was like a 6'8" point forward when he was at Ohio State. He was kind of like maybe a more athletic Hito Turkoglu kind of player. And that's the kind of guy that they really need here. Although they now, very different in a lot of ways. But, I mean, they need more guys that can handle the ball and be playmakers. That's what they really need. They have a lot of guys that can sit there and do their one thing. And Turner brings them that versatility. Of course, it's such a low-risk opportunity because they're not paying him that much. But
I think it's a steal.
Yeah.
Or it will be.
Even if he doesn't continue to play like this, although you would expect him to play at a similar level to this, because it's not like, don't forget, he went to Indiana and had a couple of lousy months. But besides that, he's been putting up the numbers on a decent Sixers team until like a year or two.
The expectations were a little high, maybe because of where he was drafted. But I think overall, I mean, he comes to the Celtics, one of the more talented players on the team right off the bat.
A big thing that we played off the top, the footage of Brad Stevens complimenting him on his film work, which is kind of a surprise because you think you look at Turner and you think, oh, he's an athleticism guy, gets by on talent. Right. Yeah. But Stevens said he's one of the hardest film workers out there. He watches more film than anybody on this team, which is shocking considering Rajon Rondo's on this team, and I assume that he puts a video under his eyelid so he can watch while he's sleeping at night. But that's a huge thing is if Turner is really doing his homework, he's a new guy. He's going to be able to fit in more quickly because he's going to be able to understand the team, understand how they game plan against their opponents more quickly than other guys.
I just think it's a relationship that both sides can benefit from because Turner obviously needs to raise his value up to where it was. I mean, I don't think I think he's getting way less than what he could be getting. You know what I mean? I think that he can outperform the contract he has with the Celtics, and he's going to get a better deal when his next one comes up. So, and he knows that, and I'm sure his agent's in his ear telling him that, and that's going to help. Only going to help the Celtics if they're trying to win games and maybe make a playoff run at some point.
Well, the whole Indiana thing killed his value. It's amazing how like a few months in one place can really kill your value.
You really don't know what's true and what's not. All the drama that goes on around a team.
And I mean, again, I don't want to overreact after one preseason game, but from what we saw from him
MVP?
tonight, not quite going to go there.
Hall of Fame.
But with the playing 3 positions, you know, over time he's going to get a lot of different roles on this team and kind of maybe accumulate a lot of starts this year.
Yeah.
Like we said, when Jeff Green goes down, who are you going to start? Turner at the 3.
Yeah.
If something were to happen to Bradley, well, you plug Turner in at the 2. And we just saw tonight that even though Smart got the start, Turner can play the point guard. So he's
Probably
going to be
should if they were
a
trying to
true-
win.
So, I mean, he's going to be a guy that's kind of like a utility player for them that Brad Stevens can just kind of plug in wherever you need him this year.
Yeah.
I like that utility player. That's good.
Utility role.
There you
Six
go.
man utility, whatever it is. But he's effective, at least early on, and that's the big thing, is that they have effective guys. They have some sort of tangible depth at the playmaker position. Doesn't matter what position is on the court. They have more than one playmaker, which they didn't really have last year. So that's a big improvement. So part 3 coming up here. Remember, like we said last video, like us, Facebook, YouTube, leave a comment for us, tweet us with #onboard. We'll get right back to you in the program. We'll get right back. This is the Garden Report on CLNS Radio and Celtics Blog.
Coach, last year you talked about with Jordan Crawford not having kind of preconceived notions about him, and Evan Turner, another guy that's had problems publicly, so to speak, but same thing there. Do you care about the whole preconceived notions with a player? Is it really just about what you see when you interact with them?
I mean, I think you pay attention to what people say, but I think you've got to. I don't think you can be. I think you have to do your own math and your own homework on it. And I coached under a guy that really believed that you soar with your strengths, and he's got a lot of strengths. And so it's our job to help him find those within the flow of the game. And so, you know, I think, hey, we don't have necessarily an MVP candidate on our team as far as going and getting baskets and scoring, right? So we've got to all work together within our strengths to be the best team we can be, because we're not going to win an isolation game, you know, over and over and over.